Hey everyone, it's Leo Young here with Impressive Graphics Media, and today I want to be going over John Travolta's Gotti, and that it might be manipulating its score on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, John Travolta's new biopic, Gotti, came out last week on June 15th and quickly received a 0%, and has stayed at that spot since it last opened. Now, in response to the low score, the team behind Gotti is insisting that audiences are enjoying the movie more than the critics. The official Gotti Twitter even insinuated that the critics bringing down the RT score are internet trolls, stating, "Who would you trust more, yourself or a troll behind a keyboard?" That's the legit quote. Now, indeed, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes currently sits at 68%. This isn't an unheard of phenomenon either. You know, the recent Death Wish remake was lambasted by critics with an 18% score, but audience appear to have enjoyed it, as evidenced by the 77% audience score. Now, however, it didn't take long for people on sites such as Reddit to realize that that score seemed rather fishy. Many of the accounts that gave Gotti a positive review were only active, that month that the movie came out, or this month, so June. And despite the low box office return of 1.76 million in its opening weekend, the number of positive reviews numbered around 70,000 on June 20th. In comparison, The Incredibles 2 opened the same day and had 7,865 positive reviews on June 20th, while also pulling in 182 million. Gotti even has more audience reviews than Ocean's 8. 7,068 compared to their 4,852. Now, despite making significantly less at the box office than that movie as well. And to use the Death Wish comparison again, Death Wish made 34 million in its North American run and currently has 7,384 audience reviews, nearly as much as Gotti has now on its second weekend. Dennis Rice, the head of Gotti's marketing team, has denied any involvement in tampering with the audience score, even stating that when the team came up with the response, the score was sitting at 77%. In fact, he is disappointed and confused that the score dropped nearly 10 points that quickly. There is a possibility that the RT score may have been hijacked, but at the same time, it's possible that Rice is trying to cover up against the controversy given his involvement with the movie. As of now, it doesn't seem likely that the movie itself will recoup its $8 million budget, but time will tell how the latest RT controversy will play out. Whew. Alright, so we've already talked about the issue. Let's talk about my opinion. As many of you probably don't know, Rotten Tomatoes, well, I guess few of you would. Rotten Tomatoes is a review score. It's a review scoring website that goes on movies and I believe TV shows, and a lot of people use it for like hardcore evidence. It's like, oh, if I want to see how good a movie is, I go and I look. If not on YouTube, I go look on Rotten Tomato. Now, as I said, Rotten Tomato has a critic score, which people who are, I guess, paid to do this type of stuff, and then it's the audience score. It's like, oh, I got off my job watching 5-year-olds through a bush, and I enjoyed Gotti. And then there are the critics who are like, didn't like this movie. Too many racist remark. Anyways, but the main fact about it is people are able to make these comments and change the review behind it. Now, basically, the idea behind this is that there could be some manipulation of the numbers behind Gotti. Like it said, a number of the people who were, the positive reviews for Gotti were only active the month of June, this month, when Gotti came out. So it to those people on Reddit and other websites, it looked a little suspicious. Now, this is not the first time, though, that anyone has ever said Rotten Tomatoes is being manipulated. In fact, the biggest comparison I can say, in my opinion, because I'm a nerd, is when people were saying Marvel was in control of Rotten Tomatoes to completely bash all other DC movies that were coming up. And people were just throwing that idea out there. It's like, it has to be true. It's true. It's the only thing that could really be the truth. When in reality, it's like, no, Marvel has no reason to bash DC, because there's no reason to kick a horse while it's down. No offense to DC fans. I like DC comics, not the movies. So there's really no reason to kick DC movies while they're down, especially since we've seen how Justice League came out. So there's really nobody behind the strings, at least from what we can see. There's really nobody behind the strings controlling the numbers around Tomato. That being said, it is a little bit more complicated to fully understand or fully tell who's really behind all of these scorings, because even the critics can be paid off. People can be paid off to go like, oh, it was a good movie, I really liked it, let me give it a 7%, you know, what was it 10 tomatoes or 5 tomatoes? I think it was like 10 tomatoes. No, it's 5 tomatoes, yeah. Let me give it 4.5 tomatoes out of 1 green tomato. Too dang ripe. So it's like I'm saying is it's kind of hard to actually, sorry about that, it's kind of hard to actually get a good understanding of if these numbers are manipulated, or, you know, if they're honestly true. Because you have to remember, critics and audience, they see films and movies completely differently. Alright, and a lot of the time, more critics have even though audience have a lot of voice, more critics are like, 500 people liked it, 10 critics said it was bad, the critic score is going to weigh a little bit more than those people. But however, for this case, it's kind of like that. While the critics gave it an 18, the audience gave it a 77, which is a bit suspicious in the eyes of the rest of the world. So, my personal take on this all, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't really say if this is all like behind them, because even if it is a good score, it's a good review, it doesn't really matter, because if you think about it, well, currently the movie sits at 68%, so maybe, but even then, if you think about it, if the movie is that bad, and the movie only made $1 million with a budget of $8 million, and it's been out for about a week. Let me see, it came out last week today, June 15th. If it's been about a week and it's only made 1 million out of the 8, there's really no reason to even, you can manipulate how much people like the scores. And I guess what's his name, Dennis Rice, you know, or whoever is in charge of their Twitter, was kind of true. Who would you trust more, yourself or a troll behind the keyboard? If the people don't like it, and the audience like numbers are manipulated, if the people don't like it, the real people don't like it. You know, there's really no change in that. They're going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to go tell their friends, and nobody's really going to watch it. So you can take that as you want. I don't really see any hardcore proof that this is in any way, shape, or form manipulation of any type of numbers whatsoever. I know it happens, but it normally happens to get something out of return. If you're not making that much, like you made $1 million, congratulations. You've paid for your fucking catering service for the entirety of the movie, like snacks and vending machine snacks, like people who walk up to you with, here's your cookie, and then there's the vending machine that doesn't work down the hall. You've paid for all of that. Now go make that 7 million left, and it's been about a week. If you can't, no, usually I don't remember the exact number of the ROI, the return on investment of a movie, of a film, like what it should make within its opening weekend, because that is the amount of money. It's like, okay, we've made about 70% of what we paid or used to make the film. We made 70%. This is an example number. We made 70% in the opening weekends. The rest of the weekends, or as long as the movie is out, we're going to get our return, like full-on return, and we're going to make money at the same time. But yeah, that's honestly as far as I can go with it. Anyways, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Do you believe that Rotten Tomatoes can be trusted? Because we're not going to talk about the whole manipulation. Do you believe that Rotten Tomatoes can be trusted? Like they said, do you trust Rotten Tomatoes, or do you trust your friends or yourself who's seen the movie or who plans to go see the movie? Are you going to look online, or are you going to ask, hey, Courtney, yeah, girl, have you seen the movie? Yeah, bitch. How's it? It's ass. Okay, there you go. You don't have to go all the way through and be like, well, these scores are kind of iffy, but a lot of them say it's good, so I might as well waste my $12.39, well, my $52.38 on popcorn and ice cream as I watch this movie. So, yeah, I just want to hear what you got to say about this. Do you really think that anything is... That was a weird noise. Do you really think that anything from this could be, like, true? Or, yeah, I guess I could want to hear about you. Do you think this could be true? Do you think this could not be true? Do you trust Rotten Tomatoes, or do you trust yourself? I honestly trust Jeremy Johns, the movie reviewer. No link in description whatsoever. I'm not going to support him. I mean, I'm not going to give him that shout out, because you know who he is. But he's someone who at least is honest with his opinion. I trust, well, I guess this is a bit biased. I trust people who make video reviews and are at least like honest. If I hear more negative shit, like he gave Suicide Squad a good review, and he wasn't like paid, he wasn't anything. He was just like, he believed it, and as time went on, he's like, nah, I was so wrong. It's a bad movie. So he's human. There's nothing wrong with being human. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm getting off. I'm starting to ramble. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did and you found this informative, please hit that subscribe button to get access to our notification gong so you can get updated to our next video. Also, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Like, comment. Why the fuck am I doing that? Like, comment, and share with your friends and family so we can get the discussion rolling about Rotten Tomatoes and its legitimacy and everything that it stands for. Anyways, like always, my name is Leo Young. This is Impressive Graphics. I'll see you in the next one, and stay impressive.